Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. It's already 8 p.m. and we shall begin our class today. But before we begin, allow me to recite the Mangalacharana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnana Timandasya Jnananjala Salakaya. Chatur Ulmilitam Yena Tasme Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaye Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupa Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sat Vedam Savaduta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneswariye Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatra Rubascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patintanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashyantya Desa Tarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Prabhus and Matadis. Today we have the pleasure of hearing the discourse from His Grace Hemarupa Prabhu from ISKCON GV. His Grace is a well-known speaker in our academy and need no further introduction. So without further delay, let's welcome His Grace to dive into today's topic. Hare Krishna, Your Grace, anytime you're ready.
Hare Krishna. So very grateful to be with all of you again. Today we are looking at a topic from the Bhagavad Gita, which is sharing about how the purpose of the entire Gita and spiritual life is actually for us to think about the welfare of others. So if we think about it, if we look around us in the creation of God, God has created everyone or everything with some special quality. Dogs have a good sense of smell. Elephant, good at it's having strong strength. Human has the ability to reason. If we look at among flowers also, like we look at bunga kertas, right? The bougainvillea, so many colors, and it can tahan also. It can last long compared to other flowers. Jasmine, we look at jasmine, malligai, very sweet smell. If we look at fragrance, if we look at lotus, it has a lot of honey. So like that, God has created all kinds of beings, all kinds of creations with different abilities. The purpose is for all these different creations to aid each other, to help each other. What is known as parasparam, to actually live symbiotically with each other. That everyone work communally to realize their interdependence on each other by realizing their supreme dependence on God. So when we realize that all of us are dependent on God, all of us are dependent on each other, that is what this whole material creation is supposed to be. We're supposed to work together, be happy, so that we can come out of this world. Now, this is only possible if we put God in the middle, right? If we put God in the center of all this. So, Srila Prabhupada talks always about cooperation, right, for the greater good. If we look at a wonderful story that Srila Prabhupada says, that if a person may be blind and another person is lame, person cannot walk and a person is blind, but both of them can cooperate and actually, get out of issues. So we are supposed to be like this. All of us, not only humans, animals, nature, everyone is supposed to come together and work for each other's well-being because everyone has some special quality, right? So this is the beauty of actually the material creation in one sense, that every one of us has a different quality. We're supposed to come together, help each other, work and come out So the material world is compared to a forest fire, with like the house burning in the background, right? And by helping each other, by aiding each other, by working with each other, right? By looking at the welfare of each other, we're supposed to come out of this. But what is the reality of this world? The reality of this world, Prabhupada tells a story. So once there was a man, a very rich man with four sons, and this rich man was going to die, and he was lying down in his bed, and he called all his four sons. He said, "My dear sons, you are all my children. You are all my sons. You are all very important to me. I love you equally. Now, please, when I leave this world, all of you take care of my business, right? All of you take care of my business, and you work with each other." So all the children were like, "Oh no, father is passing away." They just kept quiet. Father said, "Oh, my body is so much in pain. Can you please massage?" So one son took the left leg, another son took the right leg, another son took the left hand, another son took the right hand. Four sons are massaging the father's four different limbs. And as they are massaging, they're thinking, "Oh, we have to share, we have to cooperate. What we're going to do, it's so difficult. We may fight, they may take, after father goes, they may all cheat me, leave me property." They were thinking like this and that. And they were thinking that I must please my father, I should please father. So they are massaging the father even better and harder and this and that. While the mind, they are thinking of this fight. After some time, what happens? They start arguing with each other. "Hey, you're not doing anything properly. See how you're massaging the leg. Massage, press properly, press properly." And by saying press properly, they press even harder. And this poor old man is lying down on the bed and he's getting pain here, pressed here. And, what is this? The children are so busy, the sons are so busy fighting with each other, they are not realizing they're actually hurting who? They're hurting the father. Srila Prabhupada similarly says that all of us living beings in this world, if we only compete and fight with each other, argue, compete with each other, we are only hurting the Supreme Father, which is the Supreme Lord. Right? Therefore, the real welfare of everyone is that we realize you have something I don't, I may have something that you don't. Let us come together and serve that Supreme, who is the Father of all. And we see in our Vedic culture, in our Sanatana Dharma, very beautiful this pastime of the Lord getting married. So this is known as Srinivasa Kalyanam, right? This is a very famous photo where Lord Srinivasa Venkateshwara, Vishnu, is getting married. And you see who all assemble. You see from your left hand side, Brahma is there, Narada is there, and Hayagriva is there, Shiva is there, and all great munis, rishis, saints. Sukadev is there, Garuda is there, Hanuman is there, all Kim Purushas, Kinnaras, all kinds of devas, Upadevas, Manushas, all kinds of personalities are there, right? So this is known as what is this? The best togetherness or union which the Lord expects. So when the Lord with his energy are respected, then everyone comes in the picture. And we look at it, this is all different people with different capabilities, different interests, right? But they're all coming together because the Lord is in the center. This is known as Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the larger family, the whole world. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. The whole world is the family of Vasudeva, family of God. So unity, real unity in this world means when we come together, we become free from this world, right? By coming together, we become free from this world. Now, someone may argue that, "Prabhu, why to come together? Sometimes it's so difficult. I'll go my way, you go your way. Why do we have to come together and function and cooperate and work and help? Is it necessary?" Well, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter itself that, I have created the system of sacrifice, yajna, where humans, God, and the devatas, the demigods who are administrators in this material world, all of you have to be cooperate with each other. Right? Krishna says in 3.11, the demigods being pleased by sacrifices, they will also please you. And thus the cooperation, the parasparam between man and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. So even the devatas need our cooperation, even the manavas need we need to cooperate, right? So this is actually how this material world is supposed to function. It's supposed to help each other so that we all can come out of this world. Only when there's peace and prosperity can we actually want to aim towards spiritual life. However, we know this is not the case, right? That nowadays people are so selfish. Nobody wants to work with each other. Nobody bothers about others. They are thinking that, I take care of my family, my life, my person, that's it. But it will not be this way. We will suffer, the world will suffer, people around us will suffer. And definitely we are all suffering due to selfishness. So today we want to look at one shloka in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, what are the qualities needed for a person who wants to work for the welfare of all? It is sometimes called a Vishwa Kalyanam, for the well-being or the benefit of the whole world. Right? What are some qualities that a person needs to think bigger than life? As he's saying in English, that when you think of bigger issues, your issues become very small. When you think of bigger problems, your problems seem very small. And we see this when people actually think about others' welfare, right? Their problems become so insignificant. Sometimes people are not tolerant, they're very argumentative, they're not cooperative. But when they see the bigger picture in life, how things are functioning and the importance of working together, people realize that, my problems are not so great. So let us look at the shloka in Bhagavad Gita, which is the main theme of today's discussion. Okay, so it is a very nice verse in the 5th chapter, which talks about karma yoga, how to act. So Krishna here is advising everyone, right? If someone asks you, how does Bhagavad Gita, advise us that how we should live in this world? Krishna says cooperate, right? Krishna says work together. For what? For the well-being of everyone. So it's a beautiful verse. Labhyante brahma nirvanam rishaya sheena kalmasha chinna vaidha yatatmana sarvabhuta hiterata. If a person wants to be sarvabhuta hiterata, he wants to think of everyone. Sarvabhuta hita. Hitam means thinking about the welfare of others. Thinking of welfare of sarvabhuta, all living beings, not just humans. Thinking about the welfare of animals, thinking about the welfare of plants, ecosystem, everything. So if a person actually wants to be a well-wisher of all living beings, these are some qualities that they have to have. These are non-negotiable qualities. First, labhyate brahma nirvanam. That means they achieve a position of spiritual stature. Second, they must be rishaya. Third, they must be sheena kalmasa. Sorry, rishaya means one who is thoughtful. If you want to help others, you have to be thoughtful. Thoughtless people are selfish. You have to be thoughtful. How to help people? Sheena kalmasha. They should not have any contamination. Because if a person is contaminated, in the sense a person is sinful, then the person is selfish. Because selfishness leads to sin. Sinful life is selfish. A person only thinks of one's own welfare, me, I, mine. Right? So, Sheena Kalmasha, one should not have impurities. Chinna Dvaida, one should overcome dualities. Right? Brahma Nirvanam, Rishayaha, Sheena Kalmasha, Chinna Dvaida. One should not succumb to dualities in life. That means one should not give in to victory, loss, fame, infamy, success, failure. If one can become beyond this, then one can actually think about others. In life, even if you try your best to help others, they may not appreciate it. Even if you try your best to work with others, you may become a failure. But here Krishna says that Chinna Dvaida, go beyond dualities. If you just keep thinking about profit, fame, immediate success, this and that, then you will not act much. Because sometimes the road to success is paved with a lot of failures. So if in the first failure you become despondent, then you cannot work for the welfare of others. And therefore, you see people, we see great examples like Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He tried his extreme best to preach in India. He went to Bombay. Bombay people are not interested in the 60s. He went to Delhi. Delhi people are not interested in God consciousness in the 60s. He was distributing a magazine on the road. A bull came and gouged him. He fell down. He had sunstroke. He fell down. No one came to pick him up. He got up on his own. This is the Vishwa Acharya. This is the, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada suffered, endured 2 heart attacks, went on a cargo ship, not even on a proper ship, but just a cargo ship, went to the States, did not know anyone, what did he eat, where did he stay, what did he wear, how did he live? But he went through all seemingly failures in life. Right? He tried in India to start what is now ISKCON. He tried by establishing a league of devotees. Failed. The governor's wife came and shut him down. He tried, failure after failure after failure, so-called. In 1965, he established ISKCON. He only saw ISKCON just a little more than a decade, and that's it. Right? He left. So we can really appreciate that, if one wants to work or one wants to live helping others, and now there's no option, it's non-negotiable. Krishna has created this creation that we all work together. So Brahma Nirvanam, right, spiritual nature, Rishaya, thoughtful, Sheena Kalmasha, one should be freed from vices, Chinna Dvaida, that one should learn to overcome or go beyond dualities. Okay? Yatatmana, such a person, Sarvabhuta Hiderata. Such a person can actually work for the welfare of all. So these are some very good, interesting qualities Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. And like we discussed, without thinking about others, without cooperating for everyone's welfare, not just mine, not just yours, but everyone, we cannot live a peaceful, prosperous life, which is ultimately meant for us to come out of this world. So there's a nice story in this regard. In South India, in the Shri Sampradaya, the Acharya is Ramanuja. Srila Ramanuja Acharya is the incarnation of Ananda Shesh, Balaram. So Ramanuja Acharya in his early age, he met with one of his gurus. He has many gurus. He met one of his gurus whose name is Goshti Purna. And so when he met Goshti Purna, he asked him for Guru Diksha. Please, my Gurudev, give me a Guru mantra. Goshti Purna says, oh, I will give you such a mantra, which is a mantra so powerful that it can create Vishwa Kalyanam in this entire universe, not just your planet. He said, really? The whole world will become like heaven. The whole world will become peaceful. Everyone will become actually so much surcharged. So Ramanuja is very interested. Please tell me this mantra. He said, oh, this mantra is so powerful. It should only be given to qualified people. Like we see this quality, Rishayaha. It should only be given to qualified people who actually are internalizing, constantly thinking for the welfare of others. Rishayaha, thoughtful people, not for any layman. So Ramanuja thought that, okay, I'm sure there are such people. Please tell me the mantra. This mantra, Goshti Purna said, is so powerful. It can deliver one from all sins. Right? Take one immediately to Brahma Nirvana platform. Ramanuja Acharya asked, what is this mantra? His Gurudev at the time, Goshti Purna said, you promise me that you will not give this mantra to unqualified people. Ramanuja said, I promise you. And he heard the mantra. What is the mantra? So now it's an open secret. Om Namo Narayanaya. In the moment he received this mantra, Ramanuja was so amazed. He said, thank you. And he started meditating and chanting on this mantra. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. The Lord's holy names are so powerful, They create all these things. They make you Brahma Nirvanam. They make you Rishayaha. They make you Sheena Kalmasha. They make you Chinna Dvaita. These four qualities ultimately come, which ultimately should bring about Sarvabhuta Hidayata. These four qualities automatically come. So here is Ramanuja Acharya meditating on this holy name. And suddenly he feels a realization that my Lord is so powerful. Why don't everyone take this mantra? And he went on top of a big temple in the Rajagopuram. He climbed up and he called everyone. People of Trikoshtiur, come, 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 come. I want to tell you something good news today. Today, right now. Okay? Right now, today, you can go back home, back to Godhead. Like some kind of, scheme or something, You can go back home, back to Godhead. You can achieve peaceful life. You can achieve blissful life. Just hear this mantra and chant it with all your hearts. And on top of loud, he shouted, Om Namo Narayanaya. And everyone is hearing and everyone is chanting. News came to Goshti Purna. Goshti Purna says, what? How is he simply chanting a sacred mantra like this? Goshti Purna came so angry and he came to Ramanujan and asked, what are you doing? For disobeying me, giving this mantra to unqualified people who does not have a desire to go back home, back to Godhead, you will go to hell. Ramanuja says, this mantra is so powerful, Gurudev. Even if they have no desire for it, if they chant, still they'll be benefited. Right? The desire will come. And even if I have to go to hell for all of this, I am happy, I am ready, I don't mind. Let me go to hell. So we can see from this small story that how, the great personalities, they can actually meditate like this. And in fact, this is the truth, that chanting of the holy name, like we all practicing. So Srila Prabhupada put a lot of emphasis on this chanting of this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that with this chanting, one can become Brahma Nirvanam, one can reach a spiritual experience. Rishaya, one can actually start to become very thoughtful about life, because you're moving around, seeing people, seeing nature, then seeing Shastra, what they speak about it. Sheena Kalmasha, one can become pure in one's habits. Chinna Dvaida, slowly one will achieve the maturity to handle dualities in life, right? Failure, success. One understands it's all very shimmering, right? Don't take it too seriously. So the Acharyas, they give a translation very nice. So the translation here, I'm just going to read this. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, Chinna Dvaida, whose minds are engaged within Rishayaha, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living beings, Sarvabhuta Hiterata, free from all sins, Sheena Kalmasha, they achieve liberation, Brahma Nirvanam. Okay. So, Acharyas also comment that the sages, Rishayaha, they are devoid of ignorance, Chinna Dvaida, they are devoid of dualities, Sheena Kalmasha and Chinna Dvaida, and with a controlled mind, Yadatmanaha, they engage in Sarvabhuta Hiterata. Then they attain liberation. Like this, the Acharyas are also saying the same thing, different qualities. So here they mention that Rishayaha are those with a vision of truth. People who are thoughtful, people who understand things as they are. So another interesting story we see in Bhagavatam of such people who are working towards the welfare of everyone. We see in the very beginning of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we find that thousands and thousands and thousands of sages of Naimisharanya. Some of you recently had gone to the Yatra with BGAKL, and you must have gone to these holy places of Kurukshetra and holy places of Naimisharanya, Shukatal, where the tree where Sukadev Goswami spoke Bhagavatam. Right? So you're all very fortunate to be to that holy place. That is known to be the epicenter of the world. Right? That is known to be the epicenter of the world. And the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunakadi Rishi, chose that spot to do Vishwa Kalyanam, to create well-being for all the world, the whole universe. So it's like whenever you hit the epicenter, the middle, the cynosure, that is when everything gets affected positively. So the sages of Naimisharanya gathered, and seeing that Kali Yuga is coming, they thought we have to counteract Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is so hideous, right? Such a dangerous age. So all of the 1,000 rishis gathered in Naimisharanya, which is known as the center point of the world universe, and there they started doing whatever they know way to create Vishwa Kalyanam, to work for the welfare of everyone. And at the time, they knew Yajna, so they were all doing Yajna. In Bhagavatam, there's a shloka which comes, which the sages of Naimisharanya are doing for thousands of years Yajna, and nothing is happening. They're feeling the effect. Kali is still attacking. Kali is still increasing. People are still becoming degraded. What to do? Oh, what to do? So then the sages of Naimisharanya, suddenly at that time, they are approached with Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami walks in and everyone turns to him. And the sages of Naimisharanya start to, pray to Suta Goswami that, my dear sage, we are engaged in the welfare activities of everyone, Vishwa Kalyan. But we are doing this yajna for hundreds of years. We don't find any difference. Only our face are becoming black. Doing yajna, swaha, swaha, all the smoke and fire, our faces are only becoming black. But the blackness of this world is not going away. What to do? So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that in this age, doing all this kind of other things is not work. The only sure, short, powerful way to clean the blackness of this world is the chanting of Hare Krishna. Instead of coming in a forest and doing yajna, let us go to the cities and the villages and the countrysides and the kampong and the towns and the banda and wherever and do Harinam Sankirtan. Right? When they came to one center trying to create Vishwa Kalyanam, now Srila Prabhupada has said, take Harinam all over. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, take it everywhere, every town and village. And in all pockets and small areas, just dance and chant the name of Gaura Hari, Jai Sachinandana, Nitai Gauranga. And this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This are creating many epicenters. This will create powerful vibrations and purity in this world. So the sages then, after expressing that our faces is just becoming dark and black from the fire and the soot. Hey, Sutta Goswami, we take shelter of you. We take shelter of you that you may guide us. Please tell us what to do. So they glorify Sutta Goswami. They sing, Tulayamala venapi na swargam na punarbhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kim utashisha. Tulayamala venapi. Even if a moment we get your sangam, we get your association, my dear Sutta, right? You cannot compare this. Tulayama. There's no Tula. There's no comparison to it. Na swargam na punarbhavam. We don't want heavens. We don't want better rebirth. Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya. If you get association of a devotee, your whole life is transformed. Your whole life is changed. Why? These are the people who are thinking about the welfare of everyone. Right? They are Rishayaha. They are Sarva Bhuta Hiterata. So if you come in touch even for a moment with a devotee, Martyanam, for a person who is going to die, Kim Utashisha, what other greater benediction is there? So the greatest benediction a person can come is to come in the association of devotees. Why? Because the devotee is one who wants to work for the welfare of all. Right? And in that way, one actually, when you get welfare, then you're kind of like settled. In Malaysia, we have kebajikan, jabatan kebajikan, right? And in overseas, in many other places, they have this welfare department, welfare ministry. And sometimes people who have no hope in life, they just go and sign up and they feel, oh, I have some shelter now. But they forget that the greatest shelter is the Lord. He's the greatest welfare department. Right? So like this, the sages are glorifying Sutta Goswami. So they came together to do some greater, to think that they can do greater good, but nothing worked. Ultimately, they took shelter of Sutta Goswami. And Sutta Goswami told, what is the greatest good? He said, you study or you hear this Bhagavatam. Because this Bhagavatam glorifies the character, name, and form and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Just by glorifying the Supreme Lord, Uttama Shloka, Uttama Purusha, one is actually purified. So, let's look at the purport, what Srila Prabhupada has to say about this Bhagavad Gita Shloka 5.25. So, Srila Prabhupada says, only a person who is fully Krishna consciousness can be said to be engaged in the welfare work of all. So, a true humanitarian is a Vaishnava. A true social worker is a Vaishnava. A true mobilizer of society, a true revolutionary of society, a true well-wisher of society can only be a devotee. Why? Because when they put God in the middle, Krishna in the middle, then everything else falls suit. If you do not put God in the middle, then we like the sons, that four sons fighting with the father, One guy say, I'll open hospital. Another guy say, I'll open a school. Another person says, no, let's give food. And they're all fighting with each other because they don't have a common center. So, Srila Prabhupada continues to say, when a person is actually in the knowledge that Krishna is the fountain, God, the middle point is Krishna, then everything he acts in that spirit, he acts for everyone. Right? Whatever he does, he always thinks about the welfare of everyone. So this is a very powerful principle because devotees are ambassadors of peace and harmony in this material world. Creating peace, creating harmony so they can bring people out of this world, not to remain in this world, right? Because it's temporary. Srila Prabhupada continues to say, the sufferings of humanity are due to their forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, supreme proprietor, supreme friend. This is a translation from a shloka in the end of the 5th chapter, end of this chapter that in this Bhagavad Gita, where, Krishna says that, it's the first line. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Sutridam Sarvabhutanam, Yadvama Shantum Bhajyate. That Krishna says that he's the proprietor of all, he's the enjoyer of all. And then ultimately, right, one who knows this can actually achieve happiness. Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Sukritam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Richati. Right? So like the three things. He is the supreme and Bhoktaram Yajya Tapasham. Correct, correct. Bhoktaram Yajya Tapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sukritam Sarvabhutanam. If one knows these three things, what Prabhupada is quoting him, that the Lord is the supreme enjoyer, Lord is the supreme owner, and the Lord is the supreme friend of everyone, Sukritam Sarvabhutanam, then one can actually be very happy in this world. When God is in the middle. Therefore, to act to revive this consciousness in society is the greatest welfare work. To help people to remember our true identity, that we are not just people trying to exploit this world, but we are people trying to use or utilize this world so that we can become free from this world. One cannot be engaged in first-class welfare work without being liberated in the Supreme. Without being God conscious, you cannot really help others. There will always be a tinge of selfishness. Someone opens up a school or a hospital thinking that it will benefit others. Over time, we just think about how we can break even, how we can make money, how we can make a profit, and it becomes an enterprise. Person opens a school, then he thinks how we can make it an enterprise, right? So all these kind of things will happen if we forget the purpose that ultimately we are not supposed to be in this world. We want to create a peaceful, we want to create a very prosperous atmosphere so that we can get out of it, right? Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam, one time he is walking with Balram in the forest of Vrindavan. And Krishna looks at all the beautiful trees of Vrindavan. And Krishna starts to glorify the trees. He says, Balaram, this is the perfection of life. Balaram said, what? Which? Who? These trees. Trees, Krishna? How are trees perfected their life? Trees are known to be Papa Yoni, sinful species, because they're suffering years and years stuck in one place. Cannot speak, cannot do anything, so much desires, but cannot do anything. The Papa Yoni. How are you saying that they have actually made their life successful? He says, oh, I'm saying like trees, not the trees itself, like trees. So a beautiful shloka that comes. Etava janma safalyam. Perfect your life. Janma safalyam. Perfect your life this way. How? Dehinam iha dehishu. For one who is embodied. Pranir, that means life. Arther, that means resources, money. Dhya, that means your intelligence. Vacha, your speaking potency. Shreya acharanam sada. Use whatever God has given you, these four things. Your life, dedicate your life, your resources, money, contacts, time, whatever it may be. Arthe, Dhya, your intelligence. Every one of us has some intelligence, right? Some people have culinary intelligence. They know how to cook very well. You give them anything, half a potato, three-quarters of a brinjal, right? Just the stem of a bendi or lady's finger, and they can make a very nice dish, right? So they have intelligence. They know how culinary intelligence. Some people have artistic intelligence. Nowadays, you have people working with AI and technology and animation. They have that kind of intelligence. You have people who can read and understand. You have people who can speak. You have people with so many different qualities. So Dhya, everyone has some form of intelligence. People who dance very well, use it for God's service. Vacha, the speaking potency. All these four energies which Lord has given us, we should use it for the Shreya, for the greatest good. So this is the duty of everyone, to do welfare activities, to help others. This actually makes the Lord very pleased. Let's continue with the purport. What Srila Prabhupada has to say. So a Krishna conscious person has no doubt about the supremacy of Krishna. I mean, if you want to work for everyone, first you have to know where everyone comes from. Right? If you want to help others, first you have to understand where the people come from. So everyone is coming from God. So first we have to know God clearly. Then we can actually think about others. Right? So Madhava Seva comes first, then Manava Seva comes next. But both have to come. He has no doubt, but he is completely free from sins. That is a state of divine love. Now a person engaged. Now Prabhupada talks about the flip side. What about if a person only wants Manava Seva? I want to only serve people without knowing God. Is it possible that I can help people without connecting them to God? Prabhupada talks about this. A person engaged only in ministering the physical welfare of human society cannot factually help anyone. Big words. Prabhupada saying that if you only think about others' well-being without connecting them to spirituality or God, actually you're not helping anyone. Because this is, next line, Prabhupada says, temporary relief of the external body and mind is not satisfactory. A person is very sick, you give them an ailment, you heal the body, but you didn't heal their soul, and you send them back. After a while, again, the body will crash because the nature of the body is to crash. It is like Panadol treatment. So Prabhupada compares all the welfare work devoid of God consciousness like Panadol. Today or tomorrow, it will crash. It looks very nice now, but after some time, it will crash. It is not sustainable, right? And therefore, until and unless we are connected to God, where a person understands who God is, who we are in the eternal relationship, then whatever we do, we actually eternally benefit others. So then Prabhupada goes on to say, the real cause of one's difficulty in the hard struggle of life, right? The real cause of difficulties in life is found again in the forgetful relationship with Supreme Lord. When a person is actually fully conscious of God, when he actually knows God, then he is actually liberated. Then he can be, even though in the material world, he is not affected by the material. So it is the beautiful principle of welfare work mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita and by the Supreme Lord. How all of us have different qualities. We all are meant to be independent, helping each other. For what? Helping each other to get out of this world. Just like that blind man and that lame man, we saw that photo, running away from the burning firehouse. So we should help each other, take care of each other, serve each other, but keeping God in the middle. It's very important, else we'll become engulfed by the material waves. Material world is a world full of dualities. Sometimes we forget God in happiness, we forget God in distress, right? In miseries. So by practicing bhakti, we get a leveled head and we can actually think about the well-being of all. This cooperation is so amazing, so important. We find in Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a story of the Prachetas, 10 sons, 10 boys of a king who enter into the water and start performing austerities together. Their communal relationship, their cooperation, their coercion, how they work together was so beautiful that the Lord appeared before them. And the Lord says, my dear boys, I'm so pleased with your cooperation. Right? Krishna loves it. So these boys, when they came out of the water and they became kings, all of them, 10 of them married one wife. How much more cooperation you need in that? We see in Mahabharata as well. Pandavas, 5 of them had one wife. 5 guys who had different qualities, different abilities, different inclination, different likes and dislikes. Everyone came to work together because Krishna's satisfaction was in the center. They became victorious. The Kauravas, 100 of them were there. 100 of them, but none of them could work with each other. None of them could come together. Everyone was looking for their own, to perch their own flag. Everyone was looking at that. Everyone was selfish. Duryodhan was selfish. He just wanted to use his brothers. Right? So in this way, we see that although they were 100, they were all destroyed. So quantity does not matter. Sometimes people say that, Prabhu, we are only a few handful devotees. We are only 5, 6 devotees running the whole show. It does not matter. But if you come together with a spirit of actual cooperation, desiring for the welfare of everyone, then we can make great impact, although we are small numbers. Right? I remember they talk about the story of our Bhakti Vedanta hospital in Mumbai. Okay, we have a multi-specialist hospital. It began as Sri Chaitanya Clinic with 6 doctors. 6 doctors, Sri Chaitanya Clinic, and it expanded. Now these 6 doctors became trustees of the hospital. They have a multi-specialist, huge hospital, 100 few over bed hospital and all kind of, they have a nursing college and multi-specialist. And these 6 people all remain together under the guidance of their spiritual master with the desire to please Srila Prabhupada in the middle. If you ever come to Mumbai, you must visit this hospital. You think you're walking into a temple because the moment you enter, there's chanting everywhere. There's Srila Prabhupada deity right in the middle of the hospital. So to keep that center point pure is very important. Right? So all of us who want to do something in life, we have to. If you do not help others, then you will just be selfish and serve yourself. So we should come together putting God in the middle. One last story I like to share from Bhagavatam is on the story of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva was that person who said that I want to work for the welfare of everyone. When he saw Kali Yuga approaching, Vyasadeva, who had given the knowledge of the Vedas orally, realized through his Divya Drishti that people in Kali Yuga will not be able to remember. If you hear so much, taingat, right? So what to do? You need some reference lah. When you make some notes, then when you taingat, you can check again. Right? When you don't remember, you can check again. So Vyasa thought that let me put all the Vedas now into written form. And therefore Vyasa decided to compile the Vedas in writing form. This was done 5,000 years ago. So, in the beginning of, 5,000 years ago, in the beginning of Kali Yuga. So Vyasa sat down and meditated. And he created all the Vedas in written form. He created all the Upanishads, the Puranas, the Itihasas, the Agamas, the Brahmana, all different branches of scripture. After creating everything, he thought this is also technical. This is that only high Brahmanas, the PhD, professors and researchers, they only can understand. Other people cannot understand. Very difficult. So, but if other people cannot understand, then what Shastra is for them? He said, what are people attracted to nowadays? People are attracted to stories. Let me write a nice storybook with some lessons. So he wrote Itihasas like Mahabharata and Ramayana, which are stories, right? Storyline. In that storyline, you learn some lessons or you learn some character reformation, importance of the Shastra here and there. After writing Mahabharata, after writing Ramayana, Vyasa was feeling dissatisfied. He started to meditate on his guru, Narada Muni. He meditated, oh Gurudev, oh Munivar, I have done a lot. Okay, he said, I have done a lot. Vedas itself are 1 lakh. That means 100,000 shlokas. Right? Billion shlokas. I have written all of this with the purview of giving this knowledge perfectly. But after doing all this big task, I even thought about the people who are not educated. I made a syllabus for those who are educated. I made a syllabus for those who are not educated. I covered all the kinds of people from the most intelligent to the simplest, like children. I made everything. But why still I'm not satisfied in my heart? Why still I've done, although despite doing everything, I'm not happy? Narada comes to Vyasa and says, my dear Vyasa, you have done everything, but in fact, you have done nothing. Why? You've forgotten the most important center. What is that? You've forgotten to glorify the Lord extensively. You talk about all the other things, but you forgot to glorify. It's just like you go shopping. You buy a nice tuni, you buy cloth, you buy shirt, you buy hat, you buy socks, you buy this, everything. Then you forgot your credit card. Now how are you going to pay? No money, right? No UPI, nothing, no cannot pay. So then you have to keep everything back. So you took up all what you need. You felt, wow, great, wow. But then you cannot cash it out. So similarly, Narada is telling Vyasa, you did everything for everyone, but you forgot the main thing. Did you directly, openly, continuously, emphasizely talk about God? Because as long as people are not God conscious, not Krishna conscious, not understanding the Supreme, they cannot do anything which is beneficial to others. And Vyasadeva thought, my God, I talked about so many other principles. I talk about morality. I talk about righteousness. I thought about this, that, the nuances of how to conduct your life, when to eat, when not to eat, when to sleep, when not to, all this stuff I talk, technical details I talk about. But the real essence of life, who God is, what God is, how to connect with Him, that I have not done sufficiently. Narada says, see the photo, Narada carry one finger. Narada says, Vyasa, you write now one book which specifically glorifies the Supreme Lord in toto, in and out of His name, fame, good qualities, everything. One such book you write, then after this you see how you feel. So Vyasa sat down and in his meditation, he compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam from start to end only glorifies about the Supreme Person. It always brings people back to the center, back to the center, back to the center. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that the Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. This is the center of our life. If you go to many Hare Krishna or ISKCON devotees' houses, you will see they have a beautiful altar. They'll also have the beautiful Bhagavatam set. which is as good as an altar. Of course, don't just make it an altar and keep it there. The purpose of the book is to read it. That's how you bring it within the center of your life. But people respect Bhagavatam so much. They love Bhagavatam so much, right? And because this Bhagavatam is the one that is a non-stop glorification of God, understanding who God is, understanding who am I. And by going through this Bhagavatam, learning the lessons, reading the shlokas, reading the purport, slowly, one can actually rise above one's own dull, lower nature, come to a higher nature where we can actually think about others, work for the welfare of all. Vyasadeva compiled the Bhagavatam and then he was feeling such bliss. He thanked Narada. My God, I've done everything, but I felt I've done nothing. This one thing I did, I feel satisfied. I feel complete. Therefore, devotees are encouraged to practice, chant, and, share this Krishna consciousness with others. This makes everything successful. So a success of a home is when you have it as a center to a place where devotees are glorified, where deities are glorified, where Bhagavatam is glorified. That's a beautiful home. That's a success of a home. Where Krishna Katha runs in the house, right? So the purpose, the success of life is that we can use whatever we have for the glorification of the Lord. If there is no connection to God, no matter how much we try to do something good, it will always be dissatisfactory. Therefore, we see in today's society, so many people build schools, hospitals, this, that, nothing wrong with all of it. But when they do not connect people to the essence of spirituality, essence of who they really are, then despite all these great endeavors, people never really become satisfied at heart. But a simple devotee who has faith, with faith, and very non-offensively chants the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. They actually feel so much bliss within their heart. They feel satisfaction. And a satisfied person is one who can think about the welfare of others. They say, right, when your own perut tak kenyang, how you can think about others hungry? When your own stomach is not full, not fulfilled, not satisfied, how can you even think? You won't think about others. We can imagine the times when we are so hungry. I'm sure when you're traveling or when you've gone somewhere and you're tak makan, you're not eaten, and you're so hungry when you come home, your mind is a blank. Just find something and gobble it down. And sometimes even devotees have experience, we never even offer it sometimes. Cook quickly and eat it. Or just buy something and eat it. So hungry, right? So, so in this way, we can actually see how by practicing nicely, we can actually start to think about the welfare of others. So we'll end here, and if there's any questions, we can take. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for such an insightful class today. We do have some questions. Let them post it up. One moment. Okay, first, Hare Krishna Prabhu, as a Vaishnava, is the greatest welfare worker of all. How to convince others about this fact, Prabhu, who are mostly after the self-help new age gurus who neglecting God?
Okay, so we understand that Vaishnavas are the best social workers, welfare workers, but how to convince others? Because people see that maybe they are not able to see that the actual work that we do. So the work that we do should not just be limited to, just one-time classes, and we speak on the philosophy that is the greatest thing. But also this philosophy has to turn now into practice. How do we actually care for each other? Are we really concerned about the welfare from all aspects? Now, it is not our obligation to take care of everyone's health or wealth, but definitely we can actually think about it, and their health and wealth, other devotees or person's health and wealth can become a concern to us. So where I am at, where I'm currently placed, we have a hospital which is run by devotees. We have schools which are run by devotees, which administers to everyone, right? Anyone can join, but follow our principles of pure sattvic food, chanting. And we have a social organization which helps tribal people, which helps poor people, which helps women's empowerment. So these are the kind of different endeavors that we are doing, keeping Krishna in the middle. So we don't need to change our cloth. We don't need to remove our tilak. We go in like this because this is how we want to help. Ultimately, if a person is thinking about God, then they will not want to exploit the people. So a lot of new age gurus may come up with so many gimmicks, but we should also think that we can also do the same thing. And today, ISKCON, Hare Krishna movement is actually coming into that light. We have so much people having a lot of schools. ISKCON has so many schools, different, everyone is having their own pocket schools and hospitals and, own businesses. They're producing their own foods. They're producing their own merchandise. So these are all things coming to create a socio-economical society for us. In this way, we can actually, think and help others in our own capacity. So I guess to prove to others, we have to first have faith and be a little rishaya, a little intelligent how to help others. Then I think we can show others.
Okay, Prabhu. Second question, Hare Krishna Prabhu. If the sacrifice cooperation from both sides, then there is no problem. But this is not the case always because selfishness and profit taking is the main thing in any relationship. How is it then possible for us to practice one-sided selflessness or yakya?
If you want to tepuk tangan, you have to do both sides. Right. So if just one person is trying and another person is not, it will not work. Therefore, a person may have a lot of disagreeing, the person maybe have a lot of differences. But if both realize that I need you, you need me, and both of us want to do something for the greater good of Srila Prabhupada, for our spiritual master, for ISKCON society, then despite our differences, both of us come together and try to work things out, then only it will be possible. So that way, then everyone has to be trained in this mood. How the training happens? By hearing. If everyone sits together and hears Srimad Bhagavatam, if everyone sits together and chant Hare Krishna, if everyone comes together and dance in Kirtan, slowly, slowly, these differences that we have put aside. Because when we are so stuck up with our own ideas, a person who's so stuck up with their own ideas dies alone. Right? He may think he has so many people around him, but at the end of the day, he dies alone. So we have to rethink, that, we may not agree with everyone, but we realize that we need everyone. So that's the greatest sacrifice of the ego and staying together and working together. I think that happens in a family also. Sometimes after husband and wife get married, initially everything is rosy and peachy. I mean, I have no experience. This is what I've just heard. Everything is rosy and peachy, but after some time, they're like, why did I even commit? But they realize that the welfare of the children, the welfare of each other, the welfare of the family, the welfare of society. So they try to make things work out. Right? And they realize that what builds their relationship when they eat together, they stay together, they travel together, they help each other, that builds their relationship. So we need to do a lot of relationship building with our fellow devotees also. Else we'll all just hold our mala and be very selfish for our own salvation.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. I think that's all. We only have 2 questions for today. There's no more questions. So thank you, Your Grace, once again. We shall meet again in the next class. We're looking forward for the next class with you. So with that, we have come to the end of today's section. Hare Krishna, Prabhus and Matajis, thank you so much for joining us today. We shall see you all again next week with another interesting topic. All glories to their Lordship Sri Lakshmi Narayana. All glories to Sri Radha Madhava Ashtashakis. All glories to Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. All glories to Sri Sri Gauranitai. All glories to Sampradaya Acharya. All glories to His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you.